All right, here we go. We're going to do a little bit of a demonstration here on how to generate Mermaidjs visuals, diagrams as code, as some people like to call it. I think it's amazing. It's great technology. But we're going to use a large language model, Mermaidjs, to communicate in a fast way some concepts that are kind of hard to explain otherwise, people that might not be familiar. So let's get into it. Our sample scenario is we're going to talk to somebody about building a cloud-native web application. Now there's some intricacies or some details related to authorization and that flow. All right, so let's just create a Mermaidjs to talk about the phase of authentication and just some information about it. We're going to use JOTS, OIDC, and we're going to give it some information about our IDP or identity provider. So with this, we've set it to simple couple sentences. Now we're going to try to talk about this. Instead of explaining it, why don't we have a backdrop of the pictures? So, oh, that's great. Here's a high-level diagram, but this is just text. And yes, I know there's image capabilities, but I think we could do more. Well, what can we do? Well, we can go to the Mermaidjs live editor on the web. Boom, there you have it. You just enter, copy and paste the code. Here is the code sequence diagram, some participants, some interactions. You can look up the documentation to get more details about it. But with that, we have a sample backdrop that we can say, oh, by the way, the user sends a login request. It's redirected to the OIDC endpoint. Then there's a login page. It submits their credentials. It goes through the sub process, and it shows that very quickly we can get from a simple prompt to a diagram to have a conversation. This is great to have conversations quickly and easily, and you can add additional details as you wish, right? So we've gone from this plain text code to a visual that we can show to a product owner or someone else who we work with on a day-to-day basis. This quick graphic representation. But the majority of us being technologists, we could just use VS Code. VS Code has Markdown support, and that Markdown support can be configured to render Mermaidjs diagrams. So here it's more handy because if you're in a repo or an existing project that supports Mermaid, you're able to copy the Markdown, put it out there, and put it as part of the documentation. So to keep that up to date is a little bit easier with large language models. Or the next option, we have Open WebUI, which will allow you to render it right inside the stream. It has native support. It's a little bit difficult to set up, but once you get it set up, it's super powerful. I would advise you to take a look at it if this is something that interests you, and it's really, really powerful. Great stuff here to do it. So that's it in a nutshell. To go from a simple prompt to some visualizations that you can then have a discussion is an amazing thing. So that being said, thank you. Here's a little diagram I put together, or that GPT put together. Decide to learn about LLMs in Mermaidjs? Search for instructional videos. Find a trustworthy source. We are trustworthy, but I'd consider we go for a walk anyway. If not, click start watching. Realize the narrator sounds like a robot. Hopefully I sound like a human. And, you know, if you understand it, great. Now, jot down the notes, go grab some of the tools, and try it for yourself. Appreciate your time. Take care. And as always, a good person is always learning.